At this point, you'll notice that there's this little device here. This is the airbag, and it does have an explosive charge in there, and if you're screwing around, it could explode and cause lots of problems. So, yeah, standard warning, don't be an idiot. It's probably also a good idea to disconnect the negative terminal from your battery, because if there's no power to it, there's much less risk. After disconnecting the battery, you just remove this foam barrier. It should just be kind of stuck on there. Gooey gunk. And you can see the device here. Now for the unfortunate part. Once you get this far, you'll realize that, at least on this particular BMW, the places where this is mounted to the door are actually riveted on. We will bolt it on later, but the first thing we have to do is get those rivets out. So, I have a drill, and we're just going to drill right through where the rivets are to remove this from the door. Note, you should absolutely always wear safety goggles. So this is the whole door lifting mechanism. It goes on the door like that. There were 4 rivets that I just drilled out right there, and a screw here, and that's it. Now all I have to do is take the actual motor off. It's bad. So this is the motor, and it was on the door. The reason I had to take the whole thing off was because once you take it off the door like this and flip it on the back, there are screws to remove the motor. Now these take a Torx bit. This is T30. So there are 3 T30 screws. And the motor just comes off like that. Alright, so here's my new used window regulator. Just gonna go ahead and fit it on. And you can kind of see how the holes line up. Feel it as it goes on correctly. You gotta match up the gears, the teeth. Tight. When you do this, or even actually before you replace the motor, you should check these things right here. These little plastic sliders are in guide on the actual window, and because they're plastic, they will crack and cause the window to bind up. That's a very common problem, and it's easier to replace. So you should check these, make sure they're in good shape, replace them first, and if you have any problems after that, you can replace the window regulator or motor itself. Alright, the last step is to go ahead and put it back on the door. I'm going to go ahead and reinstall the window lift mechanism and motor. Here it is. And on the bottom of this window, you'll see these two aluminum glides here. You slide these plastic clips in. Make sure they're in good condition. Replace them if you need to. They're usually the first thing that causes problems on windows. So slide those in, and then these will go, these little knobs will snap in there. Ideally. Maybe. That is one. Just push it. Well, I have one bolt in here holding it in place. Now I'm going to attach this right here. And again, I'm trying to push up on the window to line it up right. That's probably the most challenging part of this whole thing. There we go. So of course this screws on from the back. Makes it very difficult to that's reasonably tight, or snug, not even snug, because I still have other bolts to put on. Now the tricky part. I'm gonna go ahead and try and raise this window up all the way, because it's in the way to get behind here and put these other bolts on that I want to put in. So, got the key in. Carefully, very cautiously raising the window. Okay, that should clear it. Another one's started. Alright, I'm using short 1/2 inch long 1/4 inch bolts for this. They seemed about the right size. And 7/16 inch box end wrench. Just to tighten up on the other side. Okay, here it is installed. And you'll see the 4 screws I put in. Bolts, actually. I used 1/4 inch bolts. So they're not on the other side, just short 1/2 inch ones. On the 4 corners, that's what holds it there. And then it's an Allen wrench type screw right there. And that's basically it. When you put the window down, you'll see right in there. That's where it goes in. There's a plastic clip there and plastic clip right there. it. That's the whole door assembly.